Hello students, welcome to all these further classes. So today I will be taking the fourth part of chapter 7 from class 6 science, that is getting to know plants. If you will go and see my previous 3 videos, the link is given in the description box. You will see that we have discussed a lot about a plant. We have discussed about the root system and the shoot system. We have seen that in shoot system, the different parts of a plant comes. We have discussed about stem, leaves and all we have discussed in the previous videos. In today's video I will be discussing about flower, seed and fruits. So first we will see about flowers, some features of a flower. Then the parts of a flower. There are 4 main parts of a flower that we are going to discuss. The sepals, petals, stamens and the pistil or a carpel. The stamen is a male reproductive part. Okay, so it again has got further 2 parts, that is anther and the filament. I will be drawing the diagrams and showing you all these structures. Then the pistil or the carpel is the female reproductive part. It has further got 3 parts, that is stigma, style, ovule. This diagram also will be drawn. A structure of whole flower will be drawn and individually I will be showing you all the parts of a flower. Next comes the reproduction. We will see that how these pollen grains they get fused with the egg of a female style. Then we will see about pollination, how insects, human beings or birds they help in pollination, they act as the pollinating agent. So we shall be seeing about cross pollination and self pollination. What happens in self-pollination and cross-pollination and how these pollen grains they further converts into seeds and then in fruits and finally under a suitable condition they becomes a baby plant. Okay, so this is the plan of today. Let's start with flower. Let's have a good knowledge of a flower. So we will study about flower. So flower is what? It is the most attractive part of a plant. You must have seen flowers in different plants. So it is the most attractive part of a plant. Why it is most attractive? You must have seen that these flowers are colorful. So many colors are there of a flower. It can be violet, it can be yellow, red, pink. Okay. So different colors are there of a flower. So because of different colors, it is very attractive and it attracts human beings and even insects. Okay. So flower is the most attractive part of a plant. It's colorful. It has got different colors. It is the seed bearing part of a plant. It bears seed and it grows at the end of the stem. It always grows at the end of the stem. Okay. So one very important thing about the flower is that flower is a reproductive part of plant. Means the reproduction which takes place in plant, that takes place where? It takes place in flower. It doesn't take place in leaf nor in any other part of a plant, but it takes in the flower. So if we talk about the function of a flower, we will say that the function of a plant is reproduction in plant. Okay? प्लांट में जो रिप्रोडक्शन होता है वो किसकी वजह से होता है? फ्लावर की वजह से होता है. So it is the reproductive part of a plant. Okay? So if we divide flower, it has got 4 main parts: sepals, petals, stamen and pistils. Okay? So 4 main parts of a plant are these. So these parts of a plant they usually form a ring or a whorls. Okay, so let's see the features about a flower. Flower is what? It is the most attractive part of a plant. Okay. Then it is what? It is colorful. Okay. Next, it is the seed bearing part of a plant. yellow. These are some of the common colors. Yellow color flower is very common. White is also very common. Red, pink, purple flowers are there. Okay, etc. So it's very colorful, very attractive. It bears seed. Okay. Then it is the reproductive part of a plant. Reproduction of a plant takes place in which part? In flower. Okay. Now if we talk about the parts of a flower, we will see that this flower can be divided into main 4 parts. Okay. So sepals are there, petals are there, the stamen is there, and the 4th one is pistil. Okay. These are the 4 main parts: sepals, petals, stamens and pistils. Now these parts of the flower, they usually form a ring or a whorl. Okay. So part of flowers usually form a ring or whorls. Okay, so flower is the most attractive part of a plant. It is colorful, it has got many colors: yellow, white, red, pink, purple, etc. Then it is the seed bearing part of a plant. It is the reproductive part of a plant. It has got 4 parts. We shall be studying about each parts in detail: sepals, petals, stamens and pistils. Okay, so these part of a flower usually form a ring or whorls. Okay, so this is our introduction about flower. Now we shall see one by one the parts of a flower. Now I will be drawing a flower just to show you the different parts of it. Okay. This will help you to see how the different parts of the flower are there. Okay. So one by one I will be telling each part of a flower and I will be explaining you in this figure that where that part exists. Okay? the structure of a flower. So first we will see the first part, that is the sepals. What are the sepals? Okay, the first part of the flower is a sepal. So it is the outermost wall of a flower. You can see this green part, this and this one is a sepal. Okay, so sepal is what? It is the outermost wall of a flower. So it is often, you can say, mostly it is green in color. Okay, it is small and a leaf-like structure. Okay, outermost wall it is green in color, small and leaf-like structure it is. So what happens? Their function is that they protect the inner part of the flower. Since they are the outer part, you can see these. So the inner part of the flower is being protected by the sepals. Okay, they protect the inner part of the flower while it is still a bud. Okay, so they protect it. So the function, you can see, is to protect the inner part of a flower. So we always know that the outer body of anything protects the inner always. Okay, so similarly these sepals, they are the outermost wall of a flower, so they are protecting the inner flowers. Outermost wall of a flower. Okay, they are often small and green and a leaf-like structure. Okay, if we talk about their function is protects the inner part of a flower. Protects the inner part of a flower. Okay, so this was about sepals. Sepals, you can see in this figure. This is the structure of a flower. Here you can see these are the sepals. These are mostly the small and green and leafy-like structure, outermost wall of a flower. Their function is that they protect the inner part of the flower. Okay, so next we shall see about petals. The second part of a flower is petals. Okay, so we have seen sepals. Now next is petals. Petals are these colorful part of a flower. Okay, so this is a petal. This is also a petal. Okay, not in your course this time, but if you will grow in higher class, you will study that how many petals a particular flower has got. If it is having 5 petals, 4 petals, 3 petals, or multi petals. So what they are being called. Okay, so flowers can be differentiated on the basis of their petals. But here you only need to know that this is a petal. Okay, so petals are what? Inside the sepals there are the whorl of petals. Okay, so you can see this is a sepal and inside sepal there are petals. Okay, so different flowers has petals of different colors. These petals actually these sepals are green in color. This is the petal that gives color to a flower. Okay, different plant are of different colors. Some may be white, red, yellow. Whatever color you see of a flower is because of its petals color. Okay. So some flowers have got very sweet smelling petals. These petals, they have a very good smells. Okay. So with its color and fragrance, the petals attract not only human beings but also they attract insects and birds. Further you will read that how these insects and birds, they collect the nectar and they help in pollination. Okay. So if we talk about petals, petals are the inside the sepals, the ball of petal is there. Okay. So inside the sepals, ball of petal is there. Okay. Second thing, if we talk about it, petals are of different color for different plants. So petals are of different color. Fine. These petals in some flower they have a sweet smelling petals. Okay. Okay, so this was the features of a petal. Now we will see the function. So function of a petal is to attract human beings. It attracts human beings by its attractive colors. They are having very attractive colors. So from that it attracts human beings. And even attracts insects and plants. Insects and birds, sorry, which collects nectar. Further, I will be teaching you pollination, in which you will get to know that how they collect nectar from one plant to another, and that is going to help in pollination. Okay, so you have seen that this one is a sepal, this is a petal. Petal is inside the sepal. Petals are of different colors. Some flowers have got sweet smelling petals. The function is that they attract human beings and they even attract the insects and birds which collects nectar. Okay, so this was about petals. Next, the third part of a flower is a stamen. We will study about the stamen. The third part is the stem. So now the question is, what is a stamen? Okay, so they can be 4 to 6 in number, and they are the male reproductive part of a flower. Okay, stamens are the male reproductive part of a flower, or you can say a male stigma. Okay, they are how much in number? 4 to 6. They are 4 to 6 in number. They are the male reproductive part of a flower, and or you can say a male stigma. It is also called male stigma. So these are the long and cylinder part of the flower that can be seen when we remove the petals and sepals be drawing that diagram also and will be showing you. So this is a long cylinder part of the flower that can be seen when you remove this sepal and petal. We go on removing, and in higher class you will be having this practical that you just separate the sepals, petals, stamens and pistil of a flower. Okay, so you have to just delicately, these parts are very delicate, so very carefully you have to remove the petals, then the sepals, and then you can get the stamen within it. Okay, so these are the long cylinder parts which can be seen when we remove these sepals and petals. Each stamen is made up of two parts. Stamen has further got two parts. What are the two parts? A filament is there. Okay, and the other part is called anther. So the top part is a filament and the lower part is a the top part is an anther and the lower one is a filament. Okay, so anther they contains a powdery substance called pollen grains within them. Okay, so these anthers, they are containing powdery substance that is called you can say it's a pollen grain. Okay, so stamen, the main thing about the stamen is that they are the male part. Okay, it is not the female part, it is the male part. Okay, so here in this diagram you can see this portion. This is the anther. Okay, in this anther there is a powdery substance that is a pollen grain. So this is an anther, and this structure, this long structure is a filament. Okay, so basically this whole structure is what? It's a stamen. Okay, clearly you can see this is a stamen. This portion is a female reproductive part, that is pistil. Petals you have already seen and sepals you have already seen. This is below one is a stem. Okay, so in this stamen, the upper portion, this one is a anther and this lower long portion is a filament. Okay, so if we talk about stamen, they are 4 to 6 in number. They are the male reproductive part. Or you can also call them as a male stigma. Okay, so this part can be seen when you just remove these petals and sepals. You can see that it is a long cylinder part of the flower. Okay, long and cylinder part of a flower. Okay, next is that each stamen, it is made up of two parts. This anther and a filament. So stamen has got two parts. One is the anther and other is a filament. So if you talk about anther, anther is a thin stalk. You can see a thin stalk is there. That is a filament is a thin stalk. You can see this लंबा सा thin stalk जैसा है, और जो anther है आपका वो knob की तरह round in shape है, knob जैसा. Okay, so anther is knob like and filament is a thin stalk. Okay, and this anther, it contains a powdery substance that is called the pollen grains. contains a powdery substance Okay, so if you are going to see, when you will study pollination, you will get to know that this anther, they are having this powdery substance called pollen grain. It helps in pollination, or you can say that only helps in reproduction. So let's see again the features of a stamen. It is 4 to 6 in numbers. It can be 4, 5 or 6. It is a male reproductive part. The most important thing to remember is that it is a male reproductive part. Okay, and it is long and cylinder part of a flower. As you can see here, it's a long and cylindrical line. Okay, it has got two parts. The upper one, that is a knob-like, is the anther, and the below, the thin part, is a filament. This anther, it contains pollen grains within it. Okay, so this was about the parts of a stamen, and if I draw separately, you can see here, it will be very clear to you that this is the part, you can say, and this, and sometimes the shapes may vary. So this is a filament, and this portion is an anther. Okay, and this one we will be studying now, that is the pistils. Okay, so this was the male reproductive part. Next pistil is a female reproductive part. So fourth part of a plant flower is pistil. Okay, so this pistil is also called as carpel, or you can also call it carpel. Okay, pistil or a carpel. So this pistil or carpel, it is the innermost part of a flower. You can see this portion, this top one from here to here, then this. So this, you can see that sepals are outer, then comes your petals, within that is your stamen, and within that is the pistil. Okay, pistil or carpel. तो जो सबसे अंदर वाला जो पोर्शन है, जो सबसे प्रोटेक्शन में रहता है, that is the female part, is the innermost part. Okay, so pistil or carpel, you can say, is the innermost part. The second thing is that it is the female reproductive part. We have seen that stamen is a male reproductive part, and this pistil is a female reproductive part of a flower, or you can also say it is called as female stem. Okay, like it was, stamen was called male stigma. This is a female stem. Okay, so this pistil can further be divided into three parts. That is a stigma, style, and a ovary. Okay, so if I will mark here, so this one is it is called an stigma. This long portion is called as style, and this lower one, round one, is a ovary. Okay, so this pistil has got three parts. So the first thing about pistil is that it is the innermost part of a flower. Okay. Second thing about is that it is the female reproductive part. Or you can say a female style. Okay. Next, it has got three parts. It can be divided into three parts. So parts इनके कौन कौन से हैं? The topmost is stigma, The long one is the style and the below down one is a ovary. Okay, so it has got three parts: stigma, style and ovary. So this stigma is a very sticky part. It's a head of a pistil. Okay, sticky head of a pistil is called stigma. Sticky head. You can see it's like a head, round in shape. The top part. So it is a sticky head. Next comes style. It is a long part. Okay, so it is a long part attached to the stigma and ovary. Okay, long part. In between, you can see in between stigma and ovary. Then the third one is the ovary. You can see here the ovary is small. It's a bit swollen structure. You can see खुला हुआ है, swollen structure, swollen sphere in shape. So this is at the base of a pistil. Okay. So if we talk about ovary, it is a small and swollen sphere. Present at the base of a pistil. Okay, it is present at the base, and at the head is the stigma. In between is a style. Okay, so you have seen about ovary also. Now I would like to tell you this ovary has got a tiny bead-like structure inside it, and that is called ovule. You can see this is a ovary, and inside it is a tiny bead-like structure, and that is called a ovule. Okay, so these ovules they later become seeds. बाद में यही ovule seeds बन जाते हैं. So what is ovule? Ovule is a tiny bead-like structure. It is present inside the ovary. Tiny bead-like structure present inside the ovary. Okay, so pistil or a carpel, it is the innermost part of a flower. It is the female reproductive part, or you can say a female style. If we talk about its parts, it has got a stigma, a style and ovary. Stigma is the sticky head at the top here, you can see. Then the long part in between the stigma and style is stigma and ovary is this one is a style. Then ovary is a small swollen portion here, you can see, spherical in shape at the base of a pistil. Here at the base it is present. Okay, this ovary has got a bead like a small structure present within it, that is called a ovule. Okay, so this was about pistil and carpel. I would just like to draw the diagram of this pistil separately, as I have gone for stamen, and would like to show you that. Okay, so let's see that. So here I will draw a diagram for a pistil. Okay. So the top head is called stigma. Okay, the middle one is a long one is a style. This is a ovary. This ovary contains a ovule in it. Okay, I hope here it will be very clear to you. This is a pistil. Okay, so stigma, style, ovary, ovule. In this figure, this portion will be very clear to you. Okay, and this ovule further makes the sheath. Okay, if we will see this structure, ovule, ovary structure further, if you cut it, so this ovule is somewhat like this. If the cutting has been done, okay. Like this structure you can see of it when the inner structure of ovary in further class when you are going to study for that. Okay. So this was about the 4 parts of a flower you have seen. The main 4 parts, that is the stamen, style, the stamen, the pistil, the sepals and the petals. These are the main 4 parts of a flower. Now the question is, does all flowers has got all these 4 parts? So the answer is no. Sometimes some parts may be missing. Okay. So among all these petals, sepals, the stamen and the pistil, maybe some flower is missing in some part is missing in some flowers. That depends upon a flower, which type of flower it is. Okay, so different flowers have got different types of sepals, different petals, and it may have all the 4 parts, and sometimes some parts may be missing. So reproduction in flowering plant is not in your course. Basically, only your intro is there. So I would like to just tell you that how this reproduction takes place. This reproduction in flowering plant happens when the pollen grains from the male anther is there. You know that in this male anther there is a pollen grain. So when the pollen grain from here goes to or you can say it fuses with the egg of a female style, this female portion, जब यहाँ से pollen grain female style पे fuse होगा, then reproduction in flowering plants takes place. Okay, so a bit about pollination I am going to tell you. So reproduction, we know that it happens when the pollen grains, as I have already taught you that pollen grains are there in an anther of a anther of a male stamen. So when the pollen grain of anther, it fuses with, it is going to fuse with the female style. Okay, with egg of a female style. This is reproduction. Here we shall see about pollination. Okay, so I have made 2 plants. You can see the male reproductive part and the female reproductive part is there. If you see, this is the anther, okay, and this one is the filament. Means it is the, you can say that it is a stamen, the male reproductive part. Now the female reproductive part is this one. So you can see here is a stigma. Here is a style and this one is a ovary. So this is the pistil or carpel or a female reproductive part. Okay, so now I will be showing you what happens in pollination. If you see these anthers, they have got small pollen grains, as I have already told you. So pollination can be of two types. The one is a self-pollination and the other one is a self-pollination and a cross-pollination. So first I will be telling you about self-pollination. In self-pollination, what happens? You can see this is the anther and these are the pollen grains of that anther. It is going to fall on the female reproductive part. Okay? Here it is going to fall. So the anther is also of the same flower and the female reproductive part is also of same flower. This is flower 1 and this is flower 2. ठीक है? एक फ्लावर ये है, एक फ्लावर ये है. As I have told you कि फ्लावर में एक मेल रिप्रोडक्टिव पार्ट है जिसके दो पार्ट्स होते हैं, एक एंथर है, एक फिलामेंट है. ऑलरेडी आई हैव टोल्ड यू. सेकंड एक फीमेल रिप्रोडक्टिव पार्ट है जिसको कार्पेल या पिस्टिल कहते हैं. उसके 3 पार्ट्स हैं. स्टिग्मा है, स्टाइल है और नीचे ये ओवरी है. तो होता क्या है कि अब हर फ्लावर जो भी फ्लावर है इसमें इनका फीमेल पार्ट भी है और फीमेल पार्ट भी है और मेल पार्ट भी है. एक ये दूसरा फ्लावर है, इसके भी ये फीमेल पार्ट है, ये मेल पार्ट है. तो अगर पॉलन ग्रेन्स एंथर से जिस फ्लावर के पॉलन ग्रेन्स हैं उसी के स्टाइल में अगर जाके फॉल होता है फीमेल स्टाइल में, एक्स से फ्यूज होता है, ठीक है, सेम, तो इट इज अ सेल्फ पॉलिनेशन. ये सेल्फ पॉलिनेशन है. ओके. और एक दूसरी कंडीशन आती है क्रॉस पॉलिनेशन की. उसमें क्या होगा, ये एंथर के पॉलन ग्रेन्स हैं, ठीक है, ये जाके दूसरे सेकंड फ्लावर के फीमेल के स्टिग्मा के, दिस इज अ स्टिग्मा, ठीक है. सो इट इज गोइंग टू फ्यूज विद द एग ऑफ फीमेल स्टाइल. ओके. So for a flower to develop into a fruit or to form a sheath, pollen grains must be transferred from anther to stigma. यहाँ anther से stigma की तरफ pollen grain आया. Anther किसका था? flower 1 का. Stigma किसका? flower 2 का. तो इस टाइप के pollination को क्या बोलेंगे? क्रॉस pollination. क्रॉस हुआ, एक फ्लावर और दूसरे फ्लावर के बीच में क्रॉसिंग हुई. और जब सेम फ्लावर का एंथर भी है, सेम फ्लावर का स्टिग्मा भी है, तो इट्स अ सेल्फ पॉलिनेशन. पॉलिनेशन इज ऑफ टू टाइप, सेल्फ पॉलिनेशन एंड क्रॉस पॉलिनेशन. दिस इज गोइंग टू मेक यू मोर क्लियर. पॉलिनेशन, ओके. The one is a self pollination and the other one is a cross pollination. अब आपको पता है pollination कब होगा? जब pollen grains एंथर के फ्यूज होंगे किससे? स्टिग्मा से. सेल्फ pollination में क्या होगा? सेम फ्लावर है. Suppose we have named it flower 1 and flower 2. ठीक है? तो flower 1 का पॉलन ग्रेन है और जो स्टिग्मा है वो भी फ्लावर 1 की है. लेकिन क्रॉस पॉलिनेशन में क्या होगा? फ्लावर 1 का एंथर है या फ्लावर 1 का स्टिग्मा भी हो सकता है. पॉलन ग्रेन फ्लावर 1 की है तो फ्लावर 2 का स्टिग्मा होगा. और दूसरी कंडीशन हो सकती है कि फ्लावर 1 का स्टिग्मा है तो फ्लावर 2 के पॉलन ग्रेन्स हैं. ओके. सो आई होप दिस मस्ट बी वेरी क्लियर टू यू. आप यहाँ पे भी देख सकते हो. इन दिस फिगर यू कैन सी एंथर एंड स्टिग्मा ऑफ वन फ्लावर, then it's a self pollination. Anther of another flower, stigma of another flower, then it's a cross pollination. So this was about pollination, and these pollen grains will further form seed and fruits. Okay, so the transfer of pollen grains from an anther to stigma is called pollination. अगर pollination की definition पूछते हैं तो transfer of pollen grains from anther to stigma is called pollination. This is a pollination. Transfer of pollen grains from anther to stigma is called pollination. Now what happens कि many flowers are very brightly colored. आपने देखा होगा flowers के बहुत अच्छे colors होते हैं and they have also got a sweet smell. So many flowers are lily. If you see, lily has got a very good smell, and there are many flowers which have got a very good smell. So what they do, these smell and the color, they attract insects, and birds also get attracted. Insects like bees mostly get attracted. Butterflies are there, they get attracted. Okay, so when the insects, what happens, they sit on the flower. Suppose any insect is going to sit on this flower. So sometimes what happens, this pollen grain, it gets stuck in a body of that insect. Okay, in the body of the insects, and now this insect which has sit on this flower, it may sit on the stigma of the same flower, or sometimes it can sit on the stigma of other flower. Okay, so it is having the pollen grains with it. So this helps in pollination. Pollination में क्या होगा कि ये जो आपके pollen grains हैं, कोई इंसेक्ट यहाँ पे आके बैठता है किसी फ्लावर पे, तो ये pollen grains उनकी बॉडी में लग जाती है। अब वही सेम इंसेक्ट जिसकी बॉडी पे ये pollen grains चिपके हुए हैं, वो आके इसकी स्टिग्मा में बैठ जाएगी, तो pollination हो सकता है, या किसी और फ्लावर के स्टिग्मा में जाके बैठ जाती है, तो it helps in pollination. So these insects, ये जो हेल्प कर रहे हैं pollination में, उनको क्या बोलेंगे हम? Pollinating agent. Okay, so these insects are called pollinating agent. क्यों? क्योंकि ये हेल्प कर रहे हैं pollination में, तो they are thus agent which is helping in pollination. Okay, so after pollination, this ovule changes to seed. As I have told you already कि ओवरी के अंदर एक ओव्यूल होता है, तो जब पॉलिनेशन होगा, रिप्रोडक्शन होगा, फ्यूज होंगे मेल और फीमेल के एंथर एंड स्टिग्मा. सो ये जो ओवरी है, इसके अंदर जो ओव्यूल है, इट इज गोइंग टू बी फॉर्म्ड इन फॉर्म ऑफ अ शीट. ओव्यूल जो है कि किसमें कन्वर्ट हो जाएगा? इट इज गोइंग टू बी चेंज इनटू शीट्स, और दिस शीट इज फर्दर द ओवरी डेवलप्स टू फॉर्म द फ्रूट्स, और ये भी सीड से फ्रूट्स बनते हैं. फ्रूट्स पे क्या बनाएंगे? अनदर बेबी प्लांट्स बनाते हैं. सो लाइक दिस साइकिल गोज ऑन. ओके, सो अंडर बेबी प्लांट किसमें? अंडर सुटेबल कंडीशंस जब होंगी, सफिशिएंट वाटर अवेलेबल होगा, एयर होगी, वार्मनेस होगा, शीट्स बिकम into fruits, and then it becomes a baby plant under a suitable condition. So this was about pollination. Pollination is a transfer of pollen grains from anther to stigma. Pollination is of two types: self-pollination and cross-pollination. If we see about self-pollination, so anther, pollen grains of the anther and stigma are of same flower. For cross-pollination, anther is from one flower and stigma is from other flower. Okay, so pollination में basically क्या है? Pollinating agent कौन से होते हैं? या तो कोई insects हो सकते हैं, like bees है, butterfly है, या sometimes birds are also there. कभी-कभी क्या होता है कि हम human beings ही as a pollinating agent act कर जाते हैं. Suppose we are plucking some flower or we are touching anyhow some flower and the pollen grains get attached to any of our part, and then we are going to touch the another part and we just stick those pollen grains with the stigma. Okay, so this was about pollination, and this was about the chapter 7, that is getting to know about plants. Here I finished my chapter. Okay, the part 4. On the part 4, the chapter has been finished. We have seen the different parts of a flower in this video, that it has got the 4 main parts: stamen, pistils, petals and sepals. And after that we have also seen in detail about the female reproductive part and the male reproductive part and this pollination and all. Okay, so we have studied a lot about till now, whatever was in your course. So here I finished my chapter 7. Hope you like my video. If you like my video, please give a like button. And if you have not subscribed our channel Always Scholar yet, please do subscribe it, because we upload videos daily. It is going to help you a lot. And Always Scholar has got its app also, whose link is given in the description box. You can go through it. There you will see many videos are there. And in fact, a very good PDF notes are there, very concise form. These notes are there, which is going to help you in your exam. And next, you can also enjoy the MCQ questions. You can test yourself. You can see that how much understanding you have done. And if you are interested for live classes, we conduct that also. We have got very good and expert faculties. So please go and install our app also. So thank you so much. Thank you for watching my video, and please subscribe the channel Always Scholar.